Thank you for joining us on another edition of Eyewitness Report on Channels Television. I am Jimoh Street. Afraid of being sacked by flood, residents of Abarage community in Igodo, Ikotun area of Lagos State appealed to the state government to fix Potoku canal before the return of heavy rains. Details of these and more in a moment. The absence of a proper drainage system and a blocked canal is causing anxiety among residents of Abarage community in Lagos State. Their cry for help became loud after a little rainfall made it clear that they need to prepare for the worst.
A sloppy and rough path leads to Abarage, a quiet community in Ikotun Igodo local council development area of Lagos State. The roads may seem manageable when they are dry, but the rains make it difficult for motorists to drive through. Perhaps the absence of good roads and drainage constitute what is more worrisome for the people: flood. Eyewitness pictures of a pool of water taken shortly after a brief downpour early in February speaks more of the large amounts of water that overflows the streets whenever it rains. Within the area is a canal stretching 8 kilometers. Potoku Canal is the longest in Lagos State. It serves as a collection point for 18 communities with an estimated population of about 3 million between Igodo in Alimosho and Obadore in Ojo local government area. The Abarage section of the canal is narrow and shallow, unable to contain the volume of rainwater in the area. The blockade is further worsened by water hyacinth and the indiscriminate dumping of refuse washed from other parts of the state. The aftermath of heavy downpour results to an overflow that runs into homes and other properties. Water marks on the wall show that houses without high and solid foundations are mostly affected.
As of April 2019, they came for the clearance, but last year we didn't see them, and it was a very big havoc on our community. So this year now, just the first minor rains that fell, almost every community around here were on the run. So we were afraid that if by the time the full rainy season will come on, almost nobody will be living around here.
Wall fortifications and wooden bridges linked to houses are some of the steps taken by the residents to stay safe from flood during the rainy season.
Like we put it in our letter to the state government the other times, whenever it rains, especially the last one that was so serious, we have a lot of damages that worth millions of naira here. Schools cannot open again. Our children cannot go to the schools. They cannot cross to the other side. Majority of them that go to that place. Some people that own shops here, they cannot open. You that is working, you cannot go to your various offices. Properties inside is, because of this rain, the value is reducing. In fact, it's a serious issue. To extent, some people they put their house for sale now because of that bitter experience. And you know, to build house these days, you know what it means. Now to be living the house that worth millions because of canal, it doesn't worth it.
We have experienced loss of life here. I think that was in 2012, June precisely. One man named Akim, you know, it was exactly in the other point where you stand the other time, that he's trying to remove one of his belongings that is being taken by the flood. Before he knew it, water swept him away, and nobody is able to rescue him. I think after 2 days, when the water go down, subsided, and it's the fire brigade officers that came and they searched for him and they found the dead body somewhere around up there, you know. And some other things like that. We have lost a lot of things, our properties and our belongings, a lot of them has been damaged by the flood water.
The challenge calls for a lasting intervention from the Lagos State government.
For like 8 years now, we have been begging, we have been writing series of letters to the government. Though there are some that they've honored, it's through our efforts, the letters that we are writing and some political wish that made them to be coming. But whenever they comes, it's always two years intervals, which is not helping. If they drag this canal now, in the next 3 months, if you come around, it will look as if nothing has been done at all. That is why my people are talking about the wideness and the depth of the canal itself. And the final solution is for the government to come to our aid to continue and complete the work, the good work they've started at the at the entrance of Potoku. That final slabbing is what we are praying for.
We really need a permanent solution that will help us a lot. That is by, first and foremost, expanding the canal and deepening it, and most importantly, slabbing it. The slabbing will bring the permanent solution to it. And the opening where it enters, it joins with the Abarage River, that is where the major problem is. As I'm talking to you now, that place is totally blocked up. Blocked. That as soon as the water hits there, it starts flowing back. It's not the canal even itself, it's the flowing back of the water, the flood, that comes from other channels that connected the canal is what the major problem is.
The Residents Association had resorted to self-help initiatives to clear the canal.
We build ourselves, we contribute money, we construct all this and some other things. Somebody will enter this water, fleet these places with chemicals to weaken the grass, then weed it, remove all these debris for water to be able to flow. We have suffered so much here. This canal have removed a lot of houses. They have chased away a lot of occupants of this area to different places of abode. Many people ran away from here because of this water, because of what this canal is costing us. So we are pleading the government, if they can be helping us in dredging this canal every year to enable us live in our various houses.
The State Office of Drainage Service is aware of the situation and has constructed a concrete line where the canal started in Igondo, although with garbage in it. The Permanent Secretary says extending it to Abarage is not possible. The topography would impede the kind of intervention expected from the residents.
Potoku is a natural channel. Upstream of that area, we have done the concrete lining, more like a collector. But the lower part, which is low line, is in its earth form. And people building around this area are actually very low lying. But there is water already on the surface. So digging does not add any volume to it. Rather, it is the water that the river downstream that determines the piezometric height of the water in the canal. Government has a role to play. They have a role to play. They need to stop dumping refuse in the channel. The refuse didn't get there by itself. The residents in the area dumped it. You saw the refuse. Residents dumped it, not the government. When you are constructing, you need to elevate the ground, raise your houses above the water mark. The flood didn't just start yesterday. There has always been flooding in that area because it's a low-lying wetland. People should learn to get the proper approval for development in a wetland. Okay? We should not incur into the wetland. But since they've been there, we will go and clean the filth, the rubbish in the channel and the vegetation as best as we can. But like I said earlier, it will not rule out possibility of flooding when there's heavy rainfall.
Despite several warnings, some residents still take the risk of building houses within the right of way of the canal.
the most fundamental advice is for them to protect their lives and their property. If they have the means to improve on what they have by creating proper elevation, raising their land to a good height to prevent flooding. We've always advised people that if you're going to go into a wetland area, come and seek advice from drainage services. There's a document, there's an approval that we give to people that are building in low-lying areas, drainage clearance. It tells you that, it gives you the condition for you to be able to build in such low-lying areas. Number one, it tells you to stay away from the right-of-way of the canal. Don't build within the right-of-way. It will tell you the height you're supposed to build. In the same vein, it considers the need for secondary collectors in the catchment. Because it's not only the canal that is important, but there's a need for you to provide some secondary collectors that will collect, rainfall, storm runoff from the catchment, from the area, that will now bring it into the bigger canal. So when we're building, you need to plan the community to give room for this stormwater infrastructure. So if this can be done, yeah, they can still live there, but there needs to be these engagements for us to really plan with them.
Clearing of canals is an annual ritual for the Office of Drainage Services. Like Potoku, the office is already cleaning some channels across the state in preparation for the rains.
As I'm talking to you now, Mr. Governor is considering approving our program for 2021. So it's something we did in 2020, we were out there, we did some cleaning exercises. 2021, we'll be doing some more. So it's a daily thing. We're always cleaning. So we can't, as I'm facing you, I'm backing someone else. So the ones I did last year, I won't do this year again. I'm going on to do some other areas. So there are needs all over the state that we're trying to pretty catch up on and make sure that we're able to render service according to what is, available funding for the exercise. So definitely, yeah, we'll be rolling out, our usual operation for 2021 in the very soon once we have the green light from our principal.
For now, residents are left with the solution preferred by the Office of Drainage Services and self-help efforts, while hoping for a long-term, sustainable intervention.
What's happening in your area? Tell the story through your pictures and videos. Simply visit our Eyewitness portal via the Channels TV app and post your pictures and videos. You can download the app from the various app stores online. Here are some of the shots you sent in for the week.
This segment of the program begins with a video showing the deplorable state of Ajayi Aina Road in Bagada, Lagos State. The entire road is riddled with potholes and craters. The Eyewitness reporter says motorists experience discomfort and breakdown while driving on the ever-busy road. The Eyewitness reporter wants the state and local governments to repair the road, beginning with a palliative. Next photos show residents of Okegon and Kayetoro communities in Ibejuleki protesting the alleged illegal demolition of their homes. They claim that over 500 of their houses were destroyed by the Lagos State government in the early hours of Monday, the 8th of February. Our Eyewitness reporter says the affected victims have become squatters and some homeless. The Eyewitness reporter is calling on the Lagos State government to look into their demands, as some may have been legally dismissed. The next set of pictures shows officials of drainage enforcement and compliance in Lagos removing shanties and structures on setbacks of Ladipo Water Channel. Pictures of commercial motorcycles seized at Yaba by men of the Lagos State Task Force in the course of enforcing the state traffic law. Over 80 motorcycles were confiscated in the area as the task force continues the raid on commercial motorcycles in restricted areas. Finally, we have pictures of Ajara Ekiti Road that connects 11 communities in Badagry local government area. Our eyewitness reporter says the road which commenced during Governor Babatunde Fashola's administration is abandoned. The eyewitness reporter is appealing to the Lagos State Ministry of Works and Infrastructure to complete the project. He also pleads that the uncompleted part of the road should be constructed to link the bridge.
Still in Lagos State, the Office of Drainage Services has commenced the construction of drainage system from Akowonjo-Egbeda Road to Shasha in Alimosho local government area of the state. This comes following several calls from residents of the area.
The reconstruction of Victoria Jimoh drainage, which commenced in January, with the aim of expanding already existing channels beginning from the Akowonjo to Shasha and all through to the Lagos International Airport. So far, from the look of things, the work seems to be going on nicely. Concrete slabs and iron rings have been placed in most parts. The construction of the drainage was necessitated to tackle the flooding from large rainwater that happens whenever it rains.
This road they are doing drainage has been here since, I think, last year, because it is February. The speed here is slow, because the drainage, it has been here for long. So they need to come and finish it on time so that people will start living their normal lives. Apart from that, Jimoh, because of this road, the hold up it causes is something else. Come in the evening, anything from 4. Before they started this drainage, the road was free. But because of the road, the drainage are doing, there's a lot of hold up. And children, schools, businesses pass through this water. And it's residential, people live there. It's smelling. So what I just oblige the government, they have started a good job. But please, they should put in speed.
Formerly, before, this road was so bad, and the water, once rain fall, you don't have any other means of walking. Everywhere is flooded, both house and shop. It affects my business badly. It's hardly for me to get one customer in a day. But as at now, it still affects simply because they have not completed the work. And we thank God we are still seeing little customer. But we pray the work finish before rain starts. But we thank Lagos State government for coming to our aid.
The project is expected to be finished in 6 months, but as at the time of our visit, workers were not on site, except around Jimoh Shasha axis, where a few are sand filling. The excavated portions not being attended to is getting owners of businesses worried as it affects their business activities. They claim that some customers are not comfortable walking on the planks placed across the dug ground to their shops and offices. They are anxious and questioning the possibility of completing the work within the stipulated time.
Many of the shops around here, many of their customers couldn't gain access to them. Even the temporary link, or should I call it the bridge, that they created for them is not something that is reliable, because as you can see, we're about to enter the rainy season, and it's something that is not going to last long, because as time goes on, the rain weakens the bridge and the temporary bridge, and some of us have to devise a means of putting our own structures there just for us to have access to our shops and so that I can have earn a living as well. So I think it's not encouraging, but I would love to commend their job, but they need to do more on the pace at which they're delivering the job, because according to the signboard they put there, it's going to last 6 months. But as it appears right now, I don't think that 6 months will be enough, because we do see them every day as they work. The number of workers they employed, the pace at which they do the work, the equipment they use as well is not something that shows that that 6 months is going to be enough. So, and it means for that period of time that they are going to be through with this job, people living here, people doing businesses around here, this area are going to suffer, because within that period, and you can imagine the rate of customers we lose, and our livelihood will be affected, and the rent is going there, landlord will also be, So it's all, I don't know if there's a way you can help us to talk to them on our behalf so that they can speed up the rate at which they are doing the work.
Despite what looks like delay, the Lagos State Office of the Drainage Services assures them of completing the project ahead of time. Another area of concern to residents and motorists is Jimoh Street. The interlocking stones were placed on the road. They're gradually being washed away by flooding caused by the absence of a drainage. The one on the road is blocked as well. Even the main carriageway is affected. Motorists struggle through potholes caused by the flood.
This road has been like this for the past few months now. So I think the local government chairman is working on it. Are you getting me? Because I could remember since last year when this water was like this, whenever it rained, this particular area used to be flooded. Are you getting me? There will be a lot of flood in this area, and it will take some hours before the water flush away. So some years back, the local government chairman worked on this particular road, because this road was not like this before. There was no interlock on this road before. Are you getting me? So he worked on the road, he broke the floor, and he fixed an interlock. So when he fixed the interlock, when he fixed the interlock, the water was still the way it is whenever it rains. So to my side of understanding, I think he has a second thought of working the project over there. So I think the project over there was the thing causing this particular water in this same spot. Because to my side of viewing, to me, it looked as if the project over there is delayed. Because this water has been like this for the past few months. As you can see, the water even got down. Because before it was not like this. It was even more than this before. So yes, some months back, it was more than this before. So sometimes the water will go down, and sometimes it will come off immediately. I can't really say where the water is coming from, because I think somewhere in this particular spot or the next spot there is blocked because of the project going on in that street. That is why the gutter is blocked. So the water cannot move away, as in the water cannot flush away. They should just try and work on this project as fast as possible, because before the rain starts falling.
So if you look down to the floor, you see that it's tarred. And that road was tarred just 2 years ago, but interlock. But they did not do a proper job, because when we are talking about road like this, we need to think of the road and drainage. So I think that drainage aspect was forgotten, or they didn't put it into consideration. And that is why we are having this problem. Or what we are experiencing here, because is bad road. I mean, the water, the stagnant water is dirty, it's smelling. Children pass there every time. And every day, down in Jimoh here, we have businesses going on. As I'm talking to you, all the businesses have closed. Why? Because of the drainage.
The drainage is very, very poor, both sides. But I said they are going to work on this time around. But we see them working at Jimoh bus stop, Akomojo, but they are not finished the job yet. And they said they will do some, they will not do some. If rain falls, I have to roll my trouser, or I should have my shoe if I be on shoe. That very terrible experience.
It's expected that when the drainage system is done, the Lagos State Public Works will return to repair the interlocking stones submerged by water on Jimoh Street and create another drainage to take water out of the neighborhood. For now, motorists will manage the remedial measures provided by the agency to make the portion motorable.
That's how we wrap up Eyewitness for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I am Jimoh Street.